November 13th, 2023. There's a lot going on around the world. We're seeing it, same situation in the Middle East. Ukraine is changing somewhat because the winter's coming on and Russia wants to make as much advancement as it can. And Ukraine, who is several NATO members involved in this war, Ukraine's side of the military is throwing everything they have at the Russians, trying to stop it. But the Russians are continuing to take a lot of territory. November the 13th, 2023. There's a lot going on around this planet right now. The Middle East is still in flames, basically. The information there is warnews247.gr. I usually put it in just about every video link that we do about that part of the world. And that's going on. Russia and Ukraine are battling it out. Ukraine is having to cede territory because they just can't continue fighting on the entire front, and Russia's slowly encircling cities, taking them. Now, there was a battle in the last 24 hours that it looked like Ukraine had moved almost everything they have, which is a lot of NATO personnel and equipment, into this one area, and Russia actually lost around 60 tanks and vehicles because everything was thrown at it, because they know if I think it's called Advika, the city there, the Ukrainians know if that goes down, then it's a one-way path to Kiev. And Kiev has been getting hit with missiles. It's not the safe zone like it was. Now, Germany's trying to get involved there. They're trying to get with NATO and the U.S., and they're going to push Zelensky to cede the territory that Russia already has to Russia, and then join the European NATO alliance, whatever. They're trying to do something like that. But what they're really going to do is push, I think, Zelensky out of power and then take over there. Again, it's going to be the same situation it was before it all started, just in a smaller area. Germany's trying to, for some reason, get heavily involved in this deal. Weapon-wise, they want to get their hands in the pile before it all goes down. Just like at the end of many wars, you have a rush, especially in World War II, between Russia and the U.S. and other people into Berlin. Remember that. But what we're seeing is a great distraction, I think. And it's a sad distraction because people are losing their lives. But there's been things that we've talked about on this channel that are going into full motion while this war is going on, and one of them happened today. That's kind of what I want to talk about. It says a few hours ago, the European Parliament and the Council came to an agreement with the European digital identity. Unless it miraculously gets voted out in the plenary, which is highly unlikely, it will come in effect soon, and everyone living in the EU will soon have a digital wallet. Now, I'm going to put a short clip there to where one of these ministers of the European Union, I think it may have been the Dutch one, we'll check it on the thing, but he came out in English. He said that he had just left this meeting, and it was a warning. It says, then this article says, do not be fooled. The digital wallet will be much more than just your passport in a digital form. It will entail everything the government wants to know about you. It holds all of your personal information, biometric data, medical records, and of course soon also your digital euro. Notice in parentheses it says central bank digital currency, CBDC. That's going to be worldwide. That's what they're promoting here. That's why it's not going to be long before it is here, along with all of the 15-minute cities. I think the current U.S. administration just allocated $45 billion to different cities. There's 90 worldwide right now. There's a lot in the U.S. to go into this 15-minute city thing. They're kind of doing it under the guise of climate control, or climate change, and going green. But in the $45 billion is, I think, they're going to buy all of this commercial real estate, even the high-rises that are no longer office buildings in some of the major cities, apartment complexes, shopping centers, anything that can be turned into apartments. And this is what you're going to be able to afford if you're lucky. but it will be a controlled environment totally. 15-minute city, and you do what you're told, or your CDC will not work. And Catherine Austin Fitts, I'm going to put another clip of that video up if YouTube will let us stay there, but she was under George H.W. Bush, one of the, I think, housing and urban development secretaries or something like that. But she just came out with a video warning the U.S. and the world about what could happen. So we'll play some of that too. It says, in fact, numerous academics and privacy experts, this is important, have warned last week that the lethal framework that has now been agreed upon, any European government will be able to surveil and spy on both their own citizens and residents across the EU by providing them with the technical means to intercept encrypted web traffic. This will mean no less than the end of privacy. Again, think about it. You do what you're told or your digital wallet doesn't work anymore. And when they came out of the meeting in this speech that one of the PMs gave there, that, again, we're going to play part of it, he said that they had all agreed on it, and again, like we said, that unless it gets voted down in the plenary, another vote coming through, then it's going to be pretty much in place. But the leader of the UN Council that he was in, this European Economic Council, had said, now we have a digital wallet. Now we need something to put in it. And they're talking about the central bank digital currency. And it's all about the 1984 control. As a matter of fact, Orwell had something to say about what we're seeing happen now. And Orwell, he knew how the system worked. It's been going on for hundreds of years. But he said real power is achieved when the ruling class controls the material essentials of your life, granting and withholding them from the masses as if they were privileges. That's what they want. That's what's being pushed down to us now, this Orwellian doctrine. And what happens when someone gets absolute power? Guys, it gives absolute corruption a chance to come in, because once you have absolute power like the U.S. government does now, why do I say that? Because it doesn't matter what the people think anymore. Nothing matters. Doesn't matter if your village burned down, your town in Ohio got contaminated. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they send all the tax money somewhere else. Complete, absolute control is what they have now, and they did it by the elections. And you know what happened there. But, guys, it goes a little deeper, too, and another thing that I think is the reason that after we saw what happened in the last 3 years with the medical situation, you know what I'm talking about. They're trying to bring it back, and they've tried to run the news on different viruses here and there that are appearing, and no one's paying attention to it now. And that has really got them upset, I think. But what will happen, you won't have a choice if they control your digital wallet. You understand what I'm saying? You comply or you're cut off. That's what these people want. And again, they're buying up all these buildings, and they're going to put you into these central cities. I think they're called C40s, C-40s. Look that up. It's an organization putting this together worldwide. And a few months ago, they had 14 mayors of big cities involved. Now it's over 90. And the current administration is putting billions into buying this real estate that they knew was going to collapse because of interest rates, loss of jobs, all of that. If society's collapsing, come in and buy it up, force the people into it. Listen to what I'm saying. And it will appear, they will present it as something nice. Green, you don't need a car, you can walk anywhere in 15 minutes, and you can grow your own food and community. All of this, they're going to push that green city thing, 15-minute city. But all of that has been done. All of the distraction and the high interest rates and the collapse of the banks has been done so that the government and other entities could buy all of this up. Then you dealing with now a whole new tax world where they have an army now trained. They can tax you out of anything you have and force you into this place. These places, let me say that. That's what's happening right now is the world is on fire in war. The people behind the war, the bankers, are planning even more evil plots. And we knew it was coming, but I think they're getting ready to implement it. Now that they've got the digital wallet in Europe, they need something to put in it. Remember, that's what they said, and that would be the digital coin. Well, they have it here too. Will Europe implement it first as kind of a test zone of control, or will it move worldwide at one time? We don't know that yet, but these are the things that you need to pay very close attention to. And if you think about, they're going to control everything. They want that. They're letting stores and grocery stores and manufacturing collapse and all of the above. Stores are getting so expensive. If they have what you need, you can't hardly afford it. And a lot of people are doing without the extras and barely getting by now. A lot of people. And I know a lot of you guys are just like us. You live paycheck to paycheck, and you're very lucky if you're like us. We built our own home and paid for every nail before it went in it. But they will try to take everything. And they're going to use that tax army, I think, to do it. And guys, this is Catherine Austin Fitts, and she was the financial expert and assistant secretary of housing and urban development during the H.W. Bush administration, has long warned about the dangers of CBDCs. And instead of playing it here, I'm changing my mind because more than likely they're going to put a copyright notice on me for putting it in here. But I'm going to link you to it and let you watch it yourself. But I'm going to read what she says, but it's good to watch it and just hear the conviction that she has. And the article says, if this doesn't end now, what you know as freedom will be turned into privileges that can be turned on and off in an instant. Now, think about this. When you have absolute power and absolute control, then it doesn't matter. This is not going to be stopped. It's not going to be voted out. This is coming. This is part of the tribulations that man has created. Remember, the tribulations are the tribulations of man. Then comes the wrath of God. And that's what we're seeing. There's not going to get voted out. They are here. We have too many clowns that wear different colors but are the same troop in D.C. All of this is going to be crammed down our throats. So what do? You hold out for as long as you can. Now, there's record reports of each day more and more people. Thousands and thousands of people now are over 3 months behind on their mortgages. Thousands and thousands and thousands more people are behind in getting their cars confiscated. Now, as these people lose these mortgages that were loaned and they're paying $1,500, $2,000 a month, they didn't look very far down the road, did they? You know, stuff like that's always concerned me because something can happen, a car wreck, an accident, anything, lose your job, and what are you going to do with your mortgage, your home? Well, you're not going to be able to do much of anything with it because it's going to be taken back by the banks who are in trouble themselves. So what are they going to do? They're going to sell all of your stuff to the government, and the government's going to pay for it with what little money you have left that they can print right now. But again, they're about to move for absolute control. So the things to do, as far as I'm concerned, and you should be too, is to avoid the situation as long as you can. How do you stay out of the FEMA food lines as long as you can? Don't overbuy. Don't get into a new truck or a new car or a new home. Right now, for the last several years, it's coming back to roost now for the people that did that. They're losing everything because they thought that it was one big happy camping situation in the U.S., especially during the last 3 or 4 years with the medical situation and the money being handed out and the landlords not being able to evict. I know some here that were having trouble, couldn't get their money. The mandates said they couldn't evict. Well, what does that do? That puts pressure on the landlords. They lose their property. Who gets it? You won't own anything. So you're going to have food, water. Hopefully you've got your place paid for, or if you don't, maybe you could, I don't know how it would work. Right now, people can't even hardly refinance something because of the interest rates. But you're going to have to make these plans. It's time to sit down and make a decision. Okay, we know they're coming for everything. If you're going to lose your home, what are you going to do? Possibly get into a camper or be homeless on the streets? What are you going to eat? We've heard the plan. You'll have nothing and you'll be happy. They lied about half of that, right? You'll have nothing, but you're not going to be happy about it. They always got to lie. You'll be happy that they're not putting a boot on your neck. Okay? That's what they're saying. And if you think about it, what a greater way to control a massive population than what their plans are. Because we're seeing a birth rate drop worldwide right now, and I think you know why that's happening suddenly. But if they can't control the masses all at once, if they are worried about an uprising, then get everybody into small groups, feed them little, don't take very good care of them, and eventually you'll weed them out. That's the plan. Now, I'm just going to link you to the article. Both videos are available here. Now, one of the videos, you come here and check it out. This is Rob Roos, and he is part of the European Union, European Parliament is what they call it, and he is the Dutch member. Now, it said this happened this morning, but it came out this morning, the article. It actually happened Wednesday morning, so they've had this week, or last week, through the weekend and now to get their currency ready for the new digital wallet that's been voted in. The second one would be down at the bottom, and that will be the Ms. Fitz video about her warnings. And then this guy who is part of the parliament we're talking about is sitting here warning Europe about what's about to happen. So you check them out, but listen to what I'm saying. That is their plan. Complete control, domination, and to hell with you if you don't go along with it. Privacy, your right to bear arms, your right to free speech, your right to have property. All of that's going, and it's going very fast. No one's coming to save you but yourself, like I said. So keep that in mind, guys. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.